Don't get discouraged if something doesn't perform as you had hoped. It really is only a matter of time until consistency really pays off.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Forbes Top Creator Show. I'm your host, Forbes editor Stephen Bertoni, and today I'm here with creator, filmmaker, comedian, Lexi Rivera. Lexi, welcome.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks for live at the Forbes Top Creator Shoot. This is great to have you.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm very excited.
So you've been, like you mentioned before, that you've been doing this for a very long time, even though you're very young.
Yes.
First of all, tell me, how did this all start? Talk to me about your creator journey.
Okay, so technically, if we're getting technical, my creator career started when I was 11.
11, okay.
Because my older brother has been doing it for forever, and I was in his Vines from age 11 to whenever Vine died, whatever I want to say. But my career, personally, I started my own YouTube channel when I was 18. So it's been a little while.
So your brother, Brent Rivera, has been a top creator for Forbes.
Yes.
And he was was he the OG in the family doing this?
Oh, yeah. He was the first one to do this. He was the reason why it was okay for me to not go to college, because if my parents didn't see that there was some success there, then they probably would have been like, no, you got to go.
Were you in your brother's films from 11 onward?
Yes.
What were you doing?
I hope you guys don't find this stuff, but I was doing I was just in his little Vine skits. Vines were 8 seconds, I think. He would just do impressions. I would react. It was just, there's a lot going on.
And when you started doing YouTube, what was the motivation and what sort of things were you doing early on when you're on your own?
Yeah. So when I first started my YouTube channel, I kind of did my research. I was like, what do I think is going to do well for me? And I honestly think that my first YouTube video was get to know me, a Q&A about myself.
Okay.
Things have changed a lot from then. But that was kind of what I started with. I did that, and then I would do content similar to Brent's, because obviously I knew that worked and I knew how to do it, and I'd been around it for so long. And then from there, I would post consistently, and then I started to kind of, get the swing of things and did my things my way.
Yeah, your brother was an early Vine star, right?
Yes.
With millions of followers.
Yeah.
And what was you have I met your other brother today, and it's a family affair. I love that.
Yeah.
What were people thinking? What were your parents thinking? What were you guys thinking when he was doing all these Vines and getting famous and making money?
Yeah. Well, I always was sorry, Brent, but I was always that's cringy. When Brent was doing it, I was kind of not really interested. I never really had in my head oh, I could maybe do this as a career too. That was never my thought.
Okay.
But my parents were always super supportive. They were supportive of Brent. They're supportive of me. They're supportive of my whole family. So that's nice to just have, your family there that is encouraging, and, you can do no wrong. And so that part's good.
You said before you finished high school, and did you have a YouTube channel during high school, or was this after high school?
So technically I had a YouTube channel during high school.
Okay.
My older brothers would post gymnastics videos of me on the channel.
Okay.
Those have since been archived, so don't try to find them. But I had the YouTube channel throughout high school technically, but I didn't start really taking it seriously until my senior year.
What were you into in high school? Because I know you said you were a gymnast all the way through.
So I was a gymnast until right before high school.
Okay.
And then I started to do dance. I would do ballet, contemporary, that kind of dance style. And then I was also on the high school dance team, so I would dance at the football games and things like that.
And then you were saying before you applied to college, you went to college, but then something happened. Tell me about the change of trajectory.
So like I said, this career was not really on my radar at all. I thought oh, this is, my brother's thing. I, have other things going on. But I also thought that people maybe didn't care, So I waited until I got 1 million followers on Instagram. And then I was if I get 1 million followers on Instagram, I'll know that people care. And so it wasn't until then that I actually started posting on YouTube.
You went to college, you said, for a very short amount of time, and then decided to go full into creator mode.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So I knew that if I did college and tried to do, social media as a career, that I would be decent at both. I get decent grades. I'd, you know, I like produce decent videos, but I knew that if I really focused on one, it would probably be better. And I ended up taking a chance on social media, and I deferred from college. I can still go back to college if I want to.
Where did you go to school?
I committed to UC Santa Barbara.
Okay.
I got in
school.
for dance, so it would have been fun. It would have been nice, but I'm really glad that I didn't go.
But you went to college for what, one day and then changed your mind?
Yes, I went for one day. I checked out the campus. And then right after that, I was like, you know what? I think that we're going to try to do social media.
And what did the family say?
They were supportive. They knew that I was kind of iffy going into it. The whole summer before the first day of college, I didn't know what I was going to do. Like, I really didn't know until that first day. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this.
Amazing. And you mentioned you weren't going to start YouTube until you had 1 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
What year was this?
2018.
2018.
I think so.
But 1 million followers on Instagram, especially in 2018, was a big deal.
Yeah.
How did you what were you posting, and how did you kind of build that audience? Because 1 million in 2018 is a lot.
Yeah.
It still is a lot now, but it was a lot then.
So Instagram used to have this thing. Well, they still have it, but it's kind of different now. But it was called the Explore page. And if your post hit the Explore page, you would get a lot of followers. And I just I would post, different things. Mostly, it was weird. Actually, now that I think about it, it's I don't even know what I was posting to get 1 million followers. But it was just I think just pictures that would hit the Explore page, and then people would follow me from it.
Okay.
Also, as you know, Brent did this before me. So things like that. If he reposted my thing or he tagged me in a picture, that would help as well. So it was a lot. I feel like it was a lot easier to grow on Instagram then than it is now. But yeah.
Very cool. And you made this big decision. You left UCSB.
Yeah.
You left. You're home now.
Yeah.
And you're going to create content. What did you start creating, and how did you find your voice?
So I started out, I'm still in this group. It's called AMP. And Brent had it already going on when I went to college. But, when I went to the first day of college. But when I came back.
You went. You still
I
went.
It counts, yes. I technically have a degree at this point. But so I went back, and there were a few creators that were already in the group. And we would do videos together, so collaborations. It was mostly challenges were the trend on YouTube back when I was starting. So I'm trying to think of one, for example. There's a video where it's I'm pregnant. And it's things like that, pranks.
Okay.
Pranks were a thing. Challenges were a thing. And that was kind of the content that I started out with. And I wouldn't necessarily say that it did super well right off the bat, but I think I would post consistently every Saturday and it took me about a year for things to kind of start doing well.
Mm-hmm. And then during the week, were you filming, producing, writing the whole week?
Yeah. So I would plan my video, I'd film my video, and then since I was in a filming group, I'd help other people film their videos. So if I'm not filming my video, I'm filming someone else's.
Okay. Do you remember the first piece of content that really took off and made a difference for you?
On YouTube?
On YouTube or in general, yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint something because, like I said, it was I was posting consistently for so long before things started to gradually pick up. So I feel like there wasn't one specific video, but I do know that my I'm pregnant video is my most viewed video on YouTube, but that was 5 years ago. But yeah, I would say it was more of a gradual thing than a one specific post that blew me up.
How do you describe your content now? Because it's a good mix of things. There's contests, there's kind of over the top experiences, tours, and there's skits and comedy. How would you describe it?
I know. When people ask me this, I'm I don't know, because when I get nominated for things, they put me under the lifestyle category.
Okay.
Which I'll take. If you want to describe it as lifestyle, okay. But for me, it really is just a mix of everything. I would say it's probably most, not even challenge based, because I do like, it really is everything. I would say like my Instagram is more lifestyle. My TikTok is more lifestyle, but my YouTube is just like a mashup of everything and anything.
Yeah, you do a lot of skits, and like, how do you describe your comedy? And where'd you get the kind of your comic sense from?
I would say my comedy is a little bit like dry, I guess. It's kind of dry. It's kind of awkward, you know, not a lot of people laugh when I'd say something funny. But I don't know. I don't really know who I got it from either. My dad's kind of funny.
Okay.
My mom's not super funny. I'm just kidding. Well, she's not. But like my dad is.
Yeah. And the skits are a lot of like you putting yourself in like embarrassing situations. Or it's very, self-deprecating in a way. Like, tell me how you like think of a comedy sketch.
So the videos the jokes kind of write themselves when I do specific videos. For example, like my last video, there was like, I did like a hotel room video, and there was like a bartender in there, and she was like cracking jokes, and everyone was like laughing at her jokes. And then I would be like, make this one good. You only get one shot. Do you get it?
I get it. Yep.
Yeah. It's that kind of thing.
And everyone was like groaning.
And everyone was like, yeah. So the jokes write themselves, you know?
It's interesting because you have like a lot of creators, like you have, how many followers do you have now?
Total?
Yeah.
17.5 on YouTube, 29.1 on TikTok, and 8 million on Instagram.
Yeah. You have over 55 million followers right now.
Okay, I like the math.
Over 55 million followers, and across, you're huge on TikTok, you're huge on Instagram, you're huge on YouTube. Your subscribers on YouTube, what you said, 16 million subscribers?
17, sorry.
17 That's amazing. And a lot of creators I meet, they do similar things on all the platforms.
Yeah.
But your platforms are very different.
Yeah.
Like, your YouTube it's comedy, it's skits, it's, not lifestyle, but, and then your Instagram is almost like luxury travel and, fashion model. You're like a fashion model on your Instagram page.
Yeah.
Tell me about like those two different sides of life you have.
So I think when I started YouTube, like I knew what people wanted to watch. I knew the videos that do well. I still do. I still know what kind of videos do well for my audience on YouTube. And I think the content there is very different from like my Instagram content, because my Instagram, I could actually post like, stories of like, like my travels and like what I'm doing. And it's a little more natural. It's a little more my vibe. But when it comes to YouTube, like I just think my audiences are a little different as well. So I kind of like to, I tend to my audience on YouTube as it's more of a kid-friendly vibe on YouTube. And it's just like that type of content that does better for me on YouTube. And then Instagram, I feel like I can kind of just be myself and, show like my clothes, my shoes, like things that I like. And it still does well. I just have two different audiences.
Gotcha. So like the YouTube is more younger kid-friendly audience. Yeah. And the Instagram and TikTok's more like your peers.
I would say so.
Okay.
And that's just my opinion. But I would say it's kind of like that.
Cool. You said before that you kind of had this formula for what like a Lexi Rivera video works on YouTube. Yeah. Break it down. Like when you make a YouTube video, what are the kind of things you make sure you do like for the formula? There's a whole Lexi formula. Like break it down for me.
Okay. So it starts with thinking of an idea. And this part, I have yet to perfect this part because I'm very indecisive. So it takes me a while to commit to an idea. But once I do commit to it, then the planning begins. So say there's travel involved, you make sure that, we could have like a nice travel route. And then from there, we'll do an outline. The outline takes like a day to do. And then like the filming starts. Typically filming nowadays is kind of all over the place. It used to take, in my beginning years, it would take like one day for like all the filming to be done for a YouTube video. It's not the case anymore, unfortunately. Now it takes me, I've had this one video going on for 2 weeks now, but it's just because it requires me to travel. There's just a lot more going on and things like that.
Do you have a whole film crew? Like what's your production crew like?
So I have a pretty small crew compared to most people or what you may think. So I have a filmer, and then a manager, and then a production assistant.
Okay.
So I don't have like too many people, but I kind of like it that way because it's more intimate and you're really getting people's like ideas and people are, speaking out and saying what they think. So I kind of like the smaller crew better.
Very cool. And then how do you come up with your Instagram ideas? Because your Instagram shoots are almost like fashion shoots.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about how those go down and how that works.
Yeah. So because I travel a lot.
Okay.
For YouTube, for brands, for all kinds of things. And I like to take pictures when I'm traveling because it's just the most natural thing for me. Whenever I'm home, I'm like, what can I take a picture of? Like myself, just like a selfie or something. But I would say that most of my photo shoots happen when I'm like on trips because it's just natural and it's easy. I'm dressed up anyways. And yeah, that's there's not too much planning that goes into my Instagram. But yeah, I would say I try to keep it real.
Nice. And you live down in Orange County?
Yes.
Okay. And you do a lot of your shooting down there?
For film, like for YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like most of my intros are at like my house normally. A lot of clips, like if I do a product video, for example, I'll film it like all at my house. So yeah.
What is tell me about the business of Lexi Rivera? Like you work with a lot of brands and you have all different audiences. Like how do you make money?
So I would say I make most of my revenue from YouTube. That's just, from posting consistently and from doing it for so long.
Yeah, you have billions of views, right?
Yeah.
So AdSense is a big part of that.
Yeah, for sure. Other than that, brand deals are super important. I do a decent amount of brand deals, but it's kind of hard for me because I really only like to work with brands that I actually use or brands that like I feel would be natural in my content. So brand deals is a thing. I turn off my AdSense for TikTok. I don't make money on Instagram unless it's a brand deal. So I would say I mostly make it from YouTube and brand deals.
It's interesting. So you turned off the TikTok AdSense and Instagram. How do you kind of use, if you think of Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok as 3 different tools.
Yeah.
How do you use each one? Like what is your kind of goal when you post on TikTok versus Instagram versus YouTube?
So Instagram is kind of like for the friends. Instagram is
your millions of friends.
Yeah, my millions of friends, my millions of besties. Instagram is kind of just like updates, like pictures when like I feel like I have, a bunch of good photos, I'll put them out there. And then obviously like brands to like collaborate with, they sometimes want like, a reel on Instagram or things like that. But actually apps have also like Instagram and Snapchat, like when they have new features, they'll reach out to me to like post and use their new features.
Okay.
And that also, pays.
Nice. Okay. The way you like test drive it and promote these new things.
Yeah, which is cool. But I would say Instagram is more for like, popping out.
Okay.
So I would say TikTok is kind of like all about trends.
Yeah.
So someone that, has 0 followers could have a video that has 20 million views. And I really like that about TikTok because it's kind of just like, a trend is a trend. And it doesn't matter, like anyone can get viral from TikTok, which I think is really cool. So yeah, TikTok is mostly for me like posting trends and dances and like fun little videos like that because it's obviously much shorter content than YouTube. So for YouTube, my videos nowadays are like 14 to 20 minutes long, and it actually like shows you like what devices people are watching them on.
Cool.
And a lot of my audience are watching it on their TVs. So I would say I post on YouTube for like the more laid back content where people can just like sit, relax, and hang out for like 20 minutes. And it's still obviously, hopefully, entertaining. And yeah.
On YouTube, you feel like, are you playing a character or like a fictional version of yourself versus the other platforms? I
try to incorporate my personality in my YouTube videos as much as I can. Like my humor, I'm pretty much the same like in my videos than I am in real life,
okay.
Which is good because I would hate to like, go to work every day and pretend to be somebody else. Like that would suck. So yeah, I would say I'm pretty much in my videos, I'm kind of like how I would be right now.
You mentioned before you try to work with brands of products and companies that you would use anyway and that you like and support. Tell me about some of those brands.
For example, I did a brand deal with Prada, and that one was really fun and really natural for me because I love fashion and I love Prada. So things like that. Also, I've done a few brand deals for like makeup brands. I've done like Neutrogena and things like that, and those are also super natural for me because I wear makeup. But yeah, I prefer to collaborate with brands that I actually use because, it's like I care about my audience and I don't want them buying something that I'm like, oh, I've never used this before. And then like collaborating with the actual platforms on like their new features, like Snapchat when they first introduced Spotlight, or like Instagram when they first came out with Reels. Because those are obviously so natural. I'm posting anyways. So yeah.
Were you surprised by Reels in the sense when it first came out and just how big it's gotten?
Yeah, because it's so crazy because it went from, there was actually, do you remember IGTV?
Yeah.
Like that was a thing, and then and then it wasn't. But Reels are super cool, and then I think they also have like a thing where some creators can get paid from Reels. It's like a revenue thing going on. But I like Reels, and I think that they help you gain followers, and they also have like a new thing called Trials, which is also cool.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I love when they come out with new things that I can try.
Yeah, you get to test drive it.
Yeah.
So in terms of, you mentioned when you work with brands, like how do you like to work? What's like the best way to collaborate with brands in terms of creating a piece of content? Like Prada, for example, take me through that. Like they've reached out to you, like I'm a huge fan, and then take it from there.
Yeah. So pretty much they asked for 2 TikToks, and then I also got invited to their fashion show in Milan, which was so exciting. And honestly, I would have done that brand deal for free. Like I'm like, I love Prada. Just like
don't tell them that.
Give me some clothes. Yeah, don't put that.
Yeah, no, okay. Barter deal. I'll trade you for clothes.
Yeah. But they asked for 2 TikToks. One of them, actually, they both were transitions. They'll give me audios to use typically.
Okay.
So that's like the only thing with like they weren't super specific, which I love. I love when a brand isn't like, don't do this, don't do that, because then it's not as natural. And I like when they're more laid back and I can send them something and they love it, because it's just hard when like you send them something. It's like, oh, can you go back and change this or change that? Prada was fun because they gave me a lot of creative freedom, and I did like 2 transition TikToks. I sent them over. They loved it. It was super easygoing. And most of my brand deals nowadays are that way because, like I said, I only like to commit to ones that like I feel are going to be authentic. So, yeah.
Is there a difference between how you film and create a brand deal piece of content versus just an organic one for yourself?
The goal is that there's not much of a difference. Obviously for YouTube, if there's like an integration, you do have to take a second, like say a 30-second integration, right? You do have to take that 30 seconds and talk about the brand. But normally it's pretty natural and it flows smoothly and it normally works out. I wouldn't say that my brand deals are like too different from like my actual content.
No. So you're 23 years old right now. You have 55 million plus followers.
Yeah.
Like, where are we going? Like, what are you excited about? If we're going to sit down here in a year or two, like, what are you going to be excited about doing?
I would love to kind of start my own brand thing going on. My brother released like a chip brand that he's super excited about.
Yeah, he teased that last time we were here. He was teasing the brand. Yeah, the chips.
That's so funny. Yeah. So they're gonna be out, and I think for me, I love fashion so much. That would be cool to just have kind of like a clothing line, a clothing brand that, I think that'd be cool. My stomach.
What kind of clothing? What style would you do? What kind of fashion?
Well, that's hard because I would say bikinis because I'm very particular about my the bikinis that I wear.
Okay.
So I would say that, but I also just love like leisure wear, like sweats and like sweatsuits and things like that. So that would also like basics.
Sweats and bikinis. That's perfect. That
okay,
works.
we'll put it together.
And in terms of, you do a lot of, your YouTube is they're full blown productions, they're full blown episodes of
Yeah.
shows, if you will.
hmm
And then your Instagram is more photo shoots, and then TikTok is all over the place.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself doing more traditional acting or directing or producing in the future? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think in the future, like I could see myself doing some acting. Like that would be so fun for me. Like I've done. I'm actually not even gonna bring up what I've done.
No, you got to tease it. What have you done?
No.
No.
I think in the future, like acting would be cool, but for me right now, I kind of want to like ride this wave of like my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok until the wheels fall off because I love it so much, and I'm in such like a pattern, like every week is fun and it's different for me, and like I really love what I'm doing right now, but I think in the future, like when I have more time, like it would be kind of nice to transition into maybe acting or something different.
And speaking about time, last
Mhm.
question. If you could go back in time
Yeah.
and give like the 18-year-old you one piece of advice before you dove full time into becoming a creator, like what advice would you give your younger self?
I would say don't get discouraged if something doesn't perform as you had hoped. It really is only a matter of time until, consistency like really pays off. And I would say, just keep going. Don't get down on yourself. Like it's going to be fine. And it's a good thing you didn't go to college.
Perfect. Well, Lexi Rivera, thanks so much for joining the Top Creator Show.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Thank you.